V has actually lost a lot of support recently as he did something that people were not happy about. We also have people saying that there was a photo that was posted of JK allegedly dating in Hawaii and what that's about. And we also have McDonald's confirming something that we need to talk about. So hey Dumplings and Save Decide, hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. And make sure you join us at Fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. V has lost a lot of fans or people that were supporting him, and it's a bit crazy. Now, I don't know 100% if it actually is people that were fans of him, because it doesn't seem like these people ever had V on their profile picture or had any of the BTS members on their profile picture. So it could just be people who are now pretending to be fans of him just so that they can say that they don't like him now over something that he did. One thing that I will say about the members lately is that they just don't seem to care, and I love that, because the members will post something, they will go social media, and they will just not really think about it or read any of the comments that people are making about them, and just kind of live their life the way that they're supposed to do. And I think more and more people are taking this approach, and it's better because they were never someone that should have been so accessible to the fans to begin with. Because if you're so accessible, if you respond back to everybody, if you read every single little comment that people write about you, you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position when you're now taking in 50 different people's critiques. It almost immobilizes you because you can't make a decision now. You're overthinking everything, and then you're just being gaslit by people who don't know you. And this is actually gaslighting, because I'm not just using the word incorrectly. When you read a bunch of comments that are shifting what your intention was, people demanding that you must have done this horrible thing, that you're a horrible person, and then when you fight back and say you can clarify or you can explain why I'm a horrible person, they make you seem like you're actually crazy. This is an actual case of being gaslit. So what happened and what is going on? Well, apparently V posted a carousel. Now, if you're not sure what a carousel is, this is a group of pictures. It's called a carousel because you can swipe through a stack of pictures and kind of see all 10. I think 10 is the most you can post, and it's called a carousel because it kind of seems like you're flipping through a wheel, like a carousel. Now, around the fourth photo, he posted a picture of him holding this tiny fry. And now these are fries that you can get if you order a kid's meal, I believe. These are not the small fries, but I remember the first time I got them, I was shocked because they hold maybe like 5 or 6 fries. And you know what? Sometimes a large fry from McDonald's isn't even enough for me. So I don't know how children are eating these tiny ones. But this was extremely controversial because the group of people who are protesting the situation going on with Gaza and whatever are protesting McDonald's because they believe that McDonald's is someone who actually funds the attempted genocide that's happening over there, or what people believe is happening over there. And so since the members seem to not be addressing the issue, which they don't have to, and they are posting someone who people believe is a big advocate of the alleged genocide, the community is really mad. In fact, they're taking this as a slap in the face to say that V does support the horrid things that are going on over there. And the excuse that people say is that V doesn't really know what's going on, so it doesn't really apply. I don't believe that V doesn't know what's going on, because the stuff that's happening, it's not just happening in the US, it's happening kind of globally. And it would be kind of odd for them not to know, like not even their team tell them. I think they know, but I think they're just tired of walking on eggshells to live their life. And McDonald's has come out and talked about this issue, sort of. They recently were in the news for fighting against the cause, offering free food and even significant discounts such as 50% off to anyone in the area that might be affected by what's going on over there. So while it could have been believed at one point, there were people within McDonald's that were for this horrid thing that's happening over there, we can see that they actually are not for this thing, or that there are people in the company that are not for this thing. When I see the protests going on and people protesting an entire company of thousands and thousands of people, it's so odd to me because they say the entire company is for this horrid thing, rather than saying that maybe there's just one powerful person that could be for this thing, and that the new CEO or the new executives or whoever is not for this thing. By protesting and attacking an entire company, you are not just attacking the company, you are attacking the employees that work there, for the tens of thousands of employees that rely on McDonald's for their paycheck, rely on McDonald's to pay it for their families' meals. And so when you're protesting McDonald's because you're so upset about what's going on over there in Gaza or whatever, you're not accounting for this idea that if McDonald's does shut down because of the protest, tens of thousands of people and families are going to starve to death. The economy is so bad right now. If it's possible to spend money and keep things moving, then do that, because it's going to be the only way that the economy is going to grow and get back to normal. Protesting and for the rich or middle class to be hoarding their money and also just not supporting businesses is not a way to make sure that the economy goes back to normal. So what's going to happen? The economy is going to eventually go back to normal, and then we're going to have no businesses around. V is aware of what's going on. V is also aware that McDonald's is someone that he has worked with, that has signed those checks for him before, that it's a company that he grew up with and a company that was there for him while he was up and coming. For example, I live right next to a McDonald's, literally a 5-minute walk from here. On days where I can't cook, need something cheap and fast, I'm probably going to go to McDonald's. And there really isn't any other option for me. The bottom line is, this protest is really stupid. It's a bunch of people who have nothing else to do with their life, just grabbing on something because they want to be angry about something. But no one who has something to actually do with their life, no one who's working 80 hours a week, or people who are trying to feed their family, or people who are actually doing stuff around the world, actually is just going to be sitting there to start trending things that don't make sense. The stuff that's going on over there is horrid, but does anyone actually sit down and full-heartedly believe that there are people who want genocide? That there's an entire religion based off of genocide is an actual belief that people have? Because it's not true. Show me where in any religious Bible does it say that any group of people need to be completely eradicated. It doesn't even say that if you decide to read in between the lines. Everything says love each other. And even if you were to read fight for your cause or spread the religious belief to other people, that doesn't mean kill other people. In no religious book does it say kill others. That is not even in Satanism. And of course, the backlash has extended to some pictures that have come out, which I think is definitely very interesting. V and JK have recently been seen in Hawaii, and not necessarily seen recently, but it's a photo that was recently posted of them in Hawaii a long time ago. Judging by the hair, this was likely well before the military enlistment, and apparently it was captioned saying that V wanted JK to be there, and then JK arrived. A lot of people had a lot of reactions about this. To say that it's easy for V to summon JK by just saying that he wants him to be there, and that's obviously not true. As you can't say that you just want someone to be there and then they'll be there. But if JK is not doing anything and he has a few days off for a week, he probably would fly to Hawaii just to hang out with someone. A lot of people forget that people who are rich, the idea of having money is not something that they think about, but also distance isn't really something that they think about either. There are definitely people who would go on day trips to LA and then come home in the evening if they're just from New York. And I've seen people do that who aren't even necessarily considered rich, but maybe like upper middle class, who will just like fly to Chicago, go see a museum, have a full day there, and then come home in the evening. And so you have no idea where JK was, if he was in LA and if he just happened to fly over to Hawaii and it was just a couple hours, or if he was even already in Hawaii and then he was just like, well, I might as well stop by and meet V for a little bit and hang out. People are also using the photo and this moment to say that the two are dating or that they're in a relationship and that they would do anything for each other and that they would fly to see each other. And I think some of those things are true. I think they would do anything for each other and I think that they would fly for each other, but I don't think that this is something abnormal and that is something that is reserved simply for romantic relationships. I think you can have friends that you go fly to see, and I think when you're someone as wealthy as they are, they can make a day out of it. It wasn't long ago when V went to Jeju, right? And that was around the time people had that dating rumor with him and Jenny. Getting to Jeju isn't just something like you take a bus and go or whatever. You have to fly there. So he took a flight and then came back that evening. That's a thing people do. It's something I've never ever done myself and something that I couldn't see myself doing anytime in the near future, but I can imagine people going someplace and not being a big deal because they're just coming right back that night. It's almost as if they're just going to the store or going to the mall on the other side of town because flights literally just take an hour and a half. And if you're rich, you might not have to do the whole check-in process, or you might even have your own plane where it literally wouldn't even be a thing. This situation where you just have to go through the airport and that takes a few hours or whatever, you can just literally fly and then come back. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for the comment right here. Love you. Bye.